Wendy, are you free?
Not really, I am talking about the inheritance.
What? You guys are talking about it without me? I can't believe.
It's normal, Bob. I am his daughter, so I must know about this. It's been such a crazy day. I will text you when I finish talking about the inheritance. I'm completely exhausted. You know what, I think I will stay at my parents' place today. I just don't have the energy. I want to stay here a bit to help Mom clear away some of Dad's stuff before coming back home anyway. I'm sure you understand. It might take a while though, Dad left behind so much stuff. I probably won't be back until tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I'm sure you are totally exhausted, but I can't help because I am too busy at work. How did everything go?
How did what go? Are you talking about the inheritance?
Yes, of course, I don't care anything else except the inheritance. What's the verdict? How much did your dad leave you? Surely you'll be getting left quite a bit, right?
He left behind an apartment and a house. They are ancient because it was built so many years ago. I think I will renovate it and paint another new color. I think they worth around about $500,000, which can help me lot in my future life.
Are you serious? So what is the plan? What are you gonna do with it? Do you gonna sell them?
No, I am not going to do anything cause it's the memories between me and my dad. Also, my mom still live there. I don't plan on touching any of it. I want to make sure that there's enough money if anything happens down the line. I don't want to do anything drastic now that I might regret later. Plus, both places are being rented out to people at the moment anyway.
What? You mean you won't be getting any money?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, now is just not the right time to do anything with them. You know, in the opposite. Looks like we'll have to pay some tax on them. I'm not sure how it all works, so I'll speak with my mom and probably sort something out. No doubt we'll leave that to the professionals.
Well, I'm gonna lie, that kinda sucks. I was expecting to have a little bit of money come through at least. I'm extremely excited.
Excited? What, for my dad's inheritance? Seriously?
Yeah, I thought we'd be able to go on vacation at the very least.
Hey, how can you told me something like that at this time? My dad have just passed away, me and my mother still shocked, and we are gradually accept the truth. Why can you act like nothing and even thinking about going on a vacation? Do you know that I have just lost my dad? And you still can care about the money? I'm so disappointed about you, Bob. I am empathetic to your busy work that you can't help me anything with the funeral, but this is too much for me.
Yeah, you're right. I am sorry. But I mean, it was like a month ago now. I thought that maybe you'd gotten over it by now.
I am dealing with it a little bit better, but it's not something I can just forget and get over so quickly. These things take timber. He was my dad, and it's not like he was some stranger. But knowing you are excited about my dad inheritance, I am kinda hurtful.
It's my first time dealing with inheritance and stuff like that, you know.
It may come under my name, but I have to think that is of my mom.
All right, I understand.
My mom's still alive and now she own it. She have to live there and take acre of the house. After Mom finished clearing things up, she was talking about maybe going somewhere together.
Oh, really? That's great. Where were you thinking? We're definitely going to abroad, right?
I'd like to leave it down to my mom, really. I want to make sure that my mom feels comfortable in the rest of her life.
So,
I'll wait instead of just choosing somewhere without speaking to her first.
Okay, If we were going abroad, I was thinking of learning the local language ahead of time. What do you think about bringing my parents too? It's not often an opportunity like this comes about, so why don't we all go and enjoy a vacation together as a big family?
It sounds nice at all, but seeing as it will be my mom paying for it all, I think we can only afford to bring you along. I don't really want to make my mom paying for everything. She's old and did have income monthly, you know?
Come on, I'm sure you can do something to convince her. You are the only daughter of her. I'll make sure we'll have a great time. It'll make you feel better.
My mom has been through a lot recently. I really don't want to cause a fuss.
Come on, it's about time started doing something for my parents and this vacation be just the thing.
Hey, Bob, you're really ridiculous, you know. You are now 40, but you never given your parents any money or invited them for a vacation. If you want your parents to be truly grateful, surely it means more coming from you.
Yeah, but you know I don't have any money. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking you.
It's not something to be so pushy about. But if you want to do something for your parents, I guess I can try save some money to help out. We can send your parents to an all-inclusive resort or something as a present from us. I think at the very least, we should pay for your parents to come along, not my mom.
Thinking about if you inherited about $500,000, then surely your mom got even more, right? She'll be fine. Your mom will definitely be fine with talking everyone on vacation. I'm sure of it.
That's not really for you to decide, though.
Anyway, just ask her and see what she says.
Fine, but don't have any expectations. Also, don't tell anybody about the inheritance I have just received.
You know I am not the kind of that person.
Hey, Bob, have you got a minute?
Yes, I just on lunch now. What's up?
Your parents bother me because they keep asking about the inheritance. I have just got off the phone from your parents and I am very fatigued. Why you tell them about that? I told you not to tell anybody.
Well, come on. They're my parents. I thought it'd be okay. We're a family, so I didn't think there would be any problem. My parents just care about you, and they just want to give you advice of how to use that inheritance sensibly.
I'm pretty sure that I told you I am considered the inheritance as my mom's, not mine. They told me how to use it effectively is weird.
Yeah, but I mean in reality you are the one who inherited it. Your mom will soon pass away, right? So don't be worried if you're encouraged to use it.
What? How dare you said that my mom soon pass away? Even if that's the case, I told you that I has no plan to do anything with it. And your parents asked me whether they could live in either the apartment or the house.
I guess it's because my parents' house is quite old and they want to live with us in a new house. That sounds good, right?
No, Bob, my mom still lived there and now your parents attempt to live in it without my mom.
If you were willing to rent out one of the places to my parents, I know that they'd be pretty happy.
That house is nearby the university, so I pretend to let people rent it.
Well, so that you will become the landlord, right? That means you can kick them out whenever you want to, right?
WHE have a contract, it's professional, so I can't kick the out whenever I want.
But they are just strangers to you. You shouldn't be worried about the people you don't know.
Not done anything for me? Those strangers are providing us with an income, you know. How can you say things like that?
My parents have been telling me that they won't move out as soon as possible. You are useless when you can do anything for them.
Oh, so now you're put the responsibility of taking care of your parents to your wife hat. What nonsense are you talking about?
I just want you to use about $500,000 for my parents and help me to show them that I am rich.
Rich? Oh my God, I am misunderstand about your personality. You're very greedy to always thinking about what's not belong to yourself.
I just need a little bit about your help because my income is OT high enough to use a part of it to my parents.
On top of that, I can't rent any of the properties out to them and I don't have any money to lend you, okay?
Am I wrong? You will be though to be a good daughter-in-law, and then it's good for you to do that.
Why are you even trying to use the inheritance my dad left anyway?
Being a member of my family, at least you should help them with some cash, shouldn't you? Don't be angry, we're just talking, nothing is seriously.
I've had enough of you and your parents trying to get what you want and do whatever you like.
Yeah, how's that?
If your parents really in need of some financial aid, I'm sure they would have said something a long time ago.
Yes, but now you have a lot of money.
Can you get that through that think skull of yours?
Stop being so cheap! Even your mom said she would take my parents on vacation. If you won't help out, then I'll go and ask your mom straight.
Are you being serious now, Bob? I can believe that you're that kind of person. You really think you're gonna go and ask my mom?
I never thought that you'd be so greedy and keep all the money to yourself. You know, I just want to do something good for my parents because of all thing they done for me. But there you are trying to hog all the money. If it's gonna be like this, I gotta think, what's the point being married?
What are you even talking about?
Just forget it.
Bob, did you understand what I said? Stop calling my mom and pestering her.
Haha, why you look so furious? I am sorry about that, lol. But what I can say, my parents are so desperate to move out.
It's one thing to demand money from me, but trying to get money from my mom is going too far. Listen, you have to know that she's having such a harder time and I am dealing with the fact that my dad ID no longer there for her. How can you and your parents keep doing something like this with her?
You know that your dad probably would have wanted you to spend that money on my parents. The best and effective way to spend that money would be to help people out. Don't you agree?
That's for the person who has the money to decide, not for you to decide for them. And this mine and my mom's inheritance, so we will decide what to do with it.
You got some nerve coming out with something like that.
I've got some nerve? It's me who should be saying that to you. All I get day in and day out is you guys talking about the inheritance. You all have recently decided to go and pester my mom.
What? I think you're over-exaggerating a bit, aren't you?
With this, with you, I just don't think I can deal with this or you anymore.
You mean you want to split up? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, do you know what your parents are saying to me? They started shouting abuse at me, calling me all sorts of things like a money-grabbing rat. And there you are agreeing everything they do and said to your wife?
Well, that's because it's the truth.
But it's too far of you and your parents to harass us because I said we couldn't give you any money. I know that you or your parents was calling to my workplace and even stooping so low to the point to throwing dog shit at my car. I bet that was your parents, wasn't it? I hate to say it, but I have to told you for not bother me about it anymore. That's enough. I am telling you now, I want to divorce, you get me hate you and also look down to you, you know.
A divorce? To be honest, that's not a bad idea, lol. I will marry someone who can give me money and also take care of my parents. I don't want to get involved with a dirty money-grabbing woman like you anyways.
I see, so you're ready to get on with this divorce then?
Yeah, sounds good to me. In return, you have to split the properties with me anyway. I can get away from this greedy money-grabbing psycho woman.
Whatever. I will do everything ready for the divorce.
Wow, you're a quick lawyer up.
I am saying the last time that stay away from my mom and don't ever call her or try to get in contact with her again. Do you understand? If anything happens from here on out, I'll report everything as harassment to the police. And I won't be modest.
Don't worry about that. I just want to hurry up, get this divorce over with. I think you need to move it and start getting things ready. Wendy, I hear that all the money was lost, right? Now you have a lesson from this, and it will teach you how to treat others with respect in the future, lol.
This is very rich coming from your mouth. You do realize that everything was caught on the security cameras?
What was caught on where?
Security cameras. You and your parents, all caught on video. All as clear as a day, all of you are caught on camera.
Waited, what?
Looks like you are finished. It's the thing you guys should received from very long time ago for your greedy. Here you are running your mouth like you've done nothing wrong.
Wait, are you being serious? There is no way?
Accept the truth, man.
But I was sure that there were no cameras around.
Wow, did you have just admit that? Of course there were cameras installed. The person who rents it out from us told me as soon as everything happened. They recorded everything. You even had the nerve to start harassing the person who lives there. Because of that, the cameras was put there secretly just in case anything were to happen. Seriously, you are just rotten to the core, aren't you? I would have never believed you'd be capable of something like this. Did it ever go through your mind what you would have done had he person who lived die? What would you have done?
Well, that's why we tried to make sure we did it when there was no one home.
Even if it seemed like nobody was there, who's to say that they weren't asleep? Had someone got caught in that, you would have been in deep trouble. The sort of trouble there's no escaping from.
So, the fact that we did it. I'd be right in thinking you're gone and told the police about it, right?
To answer your question, yes, of course I handed the all video evidence to the police.
So what's gonna happen? You know we only did it as like sort of a small prank, right? We didn't mean to cause any harm or anything, right?
You stole my money. How is that a prank? Don't think you're getting yourself out of this by saying, oh, it was just a prank. You realize that's not going to save you.
But we didn't mean it. That should count for something. Are you trying to say that we're gonna get locked up?
Isn't obvious at this point? Look at what you've done. Don't you realize the weight of the crime that you've committed?
Wait, come on, surely can work something out. It's not that serious. Just a little bit money, and we are family member. Don't be serious. Just consider it as I borrow it from you. We were just trying to get to you shaken up a little bit. You know, try and get back at you, nothing serious. We thought if we could get that person renting from you to move out, that you'll lend it to us.
Look, whatever I told you about hypercrime, you didn't care it. One thing's for sure is that I will never rent that place out to you. Wouldn't make any sense to, since you'll be going to jail soon.
Bye.
No complain. Then, Bob come round and get on his knee and beg for forgiveness. Not long after that the family were caught, they stood in court and faced criminal charges, sentencing them to prison with parole. The one who faced the harshest charges was the mother-in-law who has planned it all. The husband and the father-in-law were also sentenced.
Hey, Daisy. Is everything okay? How did your dad's funeral go? Did everything run smoothly?
Yeah. We just finished. A lot of people came, so I was happy about that. I think Dad would have been happy to see all his friends. But it would have been better if you were able to come. He would have wanted you there.
I'm really sorry, Daisy. I tried my best, but I couldn't get the day off from work. My boss was being so unreasonable. But anyway, there's something that I want to talk to you about. Is now a good time?
Oh, you want to talk?
It's about the house that your dad was living in. Well, now that he's gone. And there's no one that's gonna live there now, right? I think it would be a good idea to sell that house and use that money to buy a new place. We could get a nice big place and live with my parents.
What? You want to sell my dad's house and you want us to live with your parents? I'm not sure how I feel about that, but you can't just decide that on your own.
Daisy, we can't just keep renting. We need to have our own apartment one day. And now is a good time. We should buy a house now while the market is still good.
But we never talked about it before. Like I said, that isn't something that only you got to decide.
But it involves my parents. As their only child, I get to decide what we do for them.
Sure, but I gotta stay in my own house. Besides, you're talking about my dad's house.
Yeah. Both of your parents are dead now. My parents are still alive and I want to spend as much time with them as I can.
Don't you know what you're talking about, Phil? You're talking about selling childhood home here. At the very least, you could have considered moving your parents in there first. Why do we have to sell it and buy a new place? You don't even want to get another house but an apartment. Is that even good for our future?
I said I wanted to live with my parents. Your dad's house is big enough and it's nice, but the location is very inconvenient. It's too far from work. We can buy an apartment closer to the city. And it'll be big enough for my parents to live with us too. Doesn't that sound good? Just wait and see. You'll come around too.
But what about me and what I want?
What's wrong with living with my parents? Like they say, the more the merrier.
God, I'm so disappointed. I didn't think that you would be this self-centered.
What? How dare you? This is all your fault anyway. You're the one that insists on working when I want you to stay home.
What?
My parents have been pestering me about getting a divorce. They don't like the fact that you haven't been taking good care of me.
Really? You mean that women belong in the house and not outside working? What kind of backroad 1950s thinking is that? Your job doesn't pay that well in the first place. There's no way we could survive on your salary alone. I work so that I can support this family. I never said that I quit working after I got married in the first place. No one does that anymore, Phil.
Don't talk back to me. Are you forgetting I'm the one that has the deed for your father's house?
What? How did you get it?
Yeah, I do. It doesn't matter what you say or how much you protest. My word is final. If you keep quiet and just do as I say, then I'll let you live with us. Do you understand? But if not, then you'd better pack your things and leave right now. I'm not gonna put up with your behavior.
Wait a minute. We need to talk about this.
I see how it is. You've made your choice. I don't want to hear another word from you. I'm gonna buy a high-rise apartment for my parents. And I have already decided on this. Don't you dare get in my way.
There's something wrong with you? You're not the person that I married. I'm sure you didn't really think about this in the long term.
There's nothing to think about. Everything is going to go smoothly and it's gonna be great. If you don't like my plan, then you can leave. That's gonna be great for me. I can finally be released from being shackled to you. This marriage is a shame.
I see that your true colors are finally showing.
Hey. I need to tell you this. I'm so happy now.
What's wrong, Phil?
I got quite a large sum of money from selling your father's house. It's more than enough for my apartment. My parents are in there now. So if you don't like it, then you can get a divorce and leave us alone.
Okay. I'll file for a divorce today.
Really? What's a nice thing ever?
I'll have all the papers ready soon. But don't weigh me for whatever happens next.
What happens next? Nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna be living my life without you. You're just a loser.
Right. Hey. Aren't you talking more? Phil.
What, Daisy? What are these people and what are they doing in my home?
I have no idea. What do you mean?
They all came here suddenly and demanded that I open the door. You must have something to do with this. You better tell me the truth.
Not me. But to be precise, it's my brother.
Brother? You have 10 brothers?
I said brother, so just one. You've met Peter before, why are you playing stupid? I don't think you've met his friends though.
What on earth? You are responsible. I don't even care about the details. Just make them go away.
I can't do that. Those people have it in for you. They were planning on living in that house that you sold without our permission.
What?
They lost their home, so they decided to go to you. After all, you did use that money to buy the apartment. It makes sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. What is wrong with your brother? It's so odd because even though they invaded this place, they were all so polite about it. I thought that they would be rude.
What? They aren't being rude?
No, they just made a pot of coffee. And they're just sitting in the living room. I don't have time for any of this. I need to leave, but I can't just let them be here. You need to do something.
Why did you tell me that? You can call the police instead. They're trespassing, aren't they? There's good reason for the police to come.
Well, I can't really.
If you told the police, they'll have the authority to do something about it. You better do it quick if you have to go.
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Because if you did, you'd have to explain to the police that you stole that deed from me and sold that house without my permission. You'll be the one they arrest for theft.
I'm not a thief. You agreed that I could do it.
I don't remember agreeing with you about anything. Besides, you don't have anything in writing. You stole the deed from the safe that was in the house. You didn't even hire a real estate agent to help you do things legally. You did that without any written consent from me or my father's lawyer.
Well, I thought that no one would notice.
Right, you got the combination to the safe and just took it. My brother was supposed to live in that house. It was left for him, but you stole that from him. So of course you can't call the police. They'll know what you did. They wouldn't even have to investigate that long.
Shut up, Daisy. You're being annoying.
One more thing. You said that you were gonna live there with your parents, but they aren't there. Who's that young woman staying there instead?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb. Did you forget already my brother's there? He told me about her. Who is that young and beautiful woman? Just tell me. Who's staying with you can't be your mother.
She's the maid. I hired her not long before. You're not here to clean and stuff, so I had to hire someone to do that.
So you're sharing the bedroom with your maid?
I'm not that stupid.
You've been cheating on me. I thought you couldn't get any lower, but here you are at rock bottom.
No, I haven't been cheating. This isn't fair.
Since when do you care about playing fair? You want a divorce because you want to be with her? That's why you kept on pushing for one. That was your plan all along. On top of all that, you used your parents as an excuse. Not only are you a cheater, but you're also spineless. How did I not see it?
Wait. You've got it all wrong.
Oh. Care to explain then? How I get it wrong? Which part of what I said is wrong? You bought that apartment to impress her, right? You thought that she wouldn't be able to refuse your proposal if it came with a high-rise apartment.
What? How did you know that?
Your girlfriend told Peter everything. She wasn't shy about hiding it. Did you think that she wouldn't get back to me somehow? And apparently she's an escort? Is that how you met her? You thought that you'd be able to impress her if you got her a high-rise apartment?
No. Not really.
What do you mean, not really? Then tell me.
Well, you're actually right, but please, this is getting embarrassing. Please forgive me.
Out of all the things that you've done, cheating on me with an escort isn't the worst. I will forgive you, but only on one condition.
What?
You need to give Peter that apartment.
No way, I can't do that.
Fine, then I'll go to the police about this. And I'll tell your company too.
No, you can't do that. We can settle this some other way, but I can't give away the apartment. If I do that, I won't be able to afford alimony or any divorce settlement. You understand that, right?
I definitely know that you can't afford to pay anything. Your salary is way too low. Even with my father's house as down payment, the monthly mortgage for the condo will eat up most of your paycheck. You make even less than I do, and that's what you can't stand, right? Even though my income was what helped you sustain a reasonably good lifestyle. You couldn't stand the fact that a woman made more than you. You're just a small man.
Fine, I admit it. It was my fault. I acted on my impulses. Please, I'm desperate here. I can't give up my house. I'll have nowhere to go.
I'm sure you'll be able to find a closet or a couch somewhere.
I just moved, Daisy. I can't afford to do that all over again. I don't have money for security deposits and all that now. I bought her so many things. I'm up to my eyeballs in credit card bills. I don't have any money.
I know why you're telling me all this. What's your point?
Let's start over, Daisy. Let's pretend that this never happened and start again. We'll cancel the divorce. Everything was my fault. And I'm sorry, but we can still get back together. It'll be great.
You must have hit your head somewhere. That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I don't ever want to get back together with you. You and that escort of yours need to get out and find some other place to live.
If she finds out the truth, she'll leave me for sure. She thinks that I'm single. That was what I told her.
How lucky for you that she believed you without any doubts.
I can see that this is going nowhere.
That's right. The only one going anywhere is you and your girlfriend getting out of that house. And by the way, I told your parents everything you've been up to already. So that you don't have to.
What?
Your mom and dad are very unhappy with you. They were so surprised to find out that they had co-signed on the lease. They could be charged with accessory if we press charges. They're also very disappointed that you cheated on me with some escort and bought a house that was beyond your means. You can't seem to stop making such stupid choices? They're ashamed to have you as their son.
You cornered me, Daisy. I can't even go to my parents for help now. God. What am I supposed to do now? I can't go anywhere.
That sounds like a you problem. It has nothing to do with me. The only thing I want you to do is get out of that house as soon as possible.
Wait. You need to give me more time. I need to think about this.
No. You don't have any time left. Just get out. If you don't, I'm gonna start telling everyone else. And there's going to be real consequences to pay if you lose that job. Then you really won't have anything left.
Okay. I'll leave. Just please don't tell my company about this.
I won't as long as you move out of there.
You should keep your word. Daisy.
Don't say anything. Hurry up. After that, Phil moved out of the apartment and stayed in a small motel. But soon ran out of money. At the court, I could defend that he cheated on me, so he was ordered to pay a little extra in alimony. Of course, I wasn't gonna let him off that easily. Without a second thought, I sent an email to his boss and his coworkers. Ironically, his story turned into a hot search in the social media. The company normally didn't want to get involved in scandals, so Phil was fired not long after that. So now I can start a new life with no attachments with what happened in the past.
Hey Ivy. We need to talk. There is something really important.
Why you're so serious? Oki, tell me what's wrong.
I'll get straight to the point. I want a divorce.
What? Where is this coming from all of a sudden? To be honest, it doesn't sound like there's much to talk about. It seems like you've made up your mind already.
I really didn't expect you to respond so fast. Aren't you supposed to be working? I mean, I knew your job isn't all that hard, but I don't know you have a lot of free time to sit around on your phone. I guess you're not exactly suited for anything more difficult. But it's still a job. You should be taking it more seriously instead of being on your phone all the time.
Wait a second. I think I'm a little lost. Where is all this coming from? You just all of a sudden announced that you want to get a divorce. I think that would have caught anyone off guard. And then you add insult to injury by attacking my job? Do you even have any idea what I actually do? I'm actually really busy today. I just happened to see the notification from your text pop up on my phone. Well, I felt like my husband wanting a divorce was a good reason to stop what I was doing and respond. Do you have any more questions or insults at my job? Or can we go back to talking about the whole divorce thing?
Okay. I didn't know you get so defensive about your job. It's exactly this attitude that has ruined our marriage. And it is the biggest reason I want you out of my life altogether. This is a serious conversation. You can't just ignore me. Don't you have anything to say?
You know what? If a divorce is what you really want, then that's fine by me. Our marriage has been falling apart for a long time. It doesn't really make a difference to my life at this point. Honestly, I had a feeling it would come down to this sooner or later.
What? You're not upset at all. I'm your husband and you're just gonna shrug off a divorce like it's not a big deal? You should know you won't be able to survive without me. Don't act like this will have no effect on you.
I think I'll get along. It's just fine. I work hard to make my own money. It's not like I'm a housewife that's entirely dependent on you.
That's not exactly the truth though. I know you have a job. But it doesn't really pay enough for you to live on your own.
Are you sure about that? Maybe I don't make as much as you do.
Stop it. There's no point in arguing about this. I want a divorce and your lifestyle is gonna take a hit for it. Just admit it.
You make around $60,000 a year, right?
About that, yeah. I doubt that if you can earn that much however hard you try.
Right, it's a good salary for early in your career. But it's not that much. I'm currently making around $50,000 a year. I think that's okay for me though.
What? Come on, Ivy. Don't try and lie to me.
I'm not lying, but your surprise says a lot about how much you paid attention to me in our marriage. Anyway, I'm not worried about making it all my own. I may not exactly get to live in luxury, but it'll be more than enough to get by well.
But you'll still have to make some sacrifices.
You're probably right, but that's okay too. Anyway, if you're done trying and failing to make me feel worthless, did you have anything else to say about a divorce? We absolutely need to discuss that. But I can't really talk much during work. I've been away long enough. I'll see you at home later. Let's talk more then. That way we'll be able to get everything out in the open at once. Or is there something urgent that needs to be taken care of at this minute?
Just stop. There's nothing to talk about. I want a divorce. And I want you to go away. You have until the end of today to get out of the house, got it?
You want me out today?
Yes, today.
Don't even try argue it beforehand?
It's funny, Ivy. You were so smug about your 50K just a minute ago. So you shouldn't have a problem getting out of my house by the end of the day. You have more than enough money, right? Just get your stuff and get out. I don't want to see your face any more minute.
I think I know what's happening. There's something else going on here? Isn't there something that means you need me out of the way as soon as possible?
Look, you're grasping at straws here. Not feeling so strong now? What happened to all your confidence? In all seriousness, I'm sorry for the trouble. But you really do need to leave immediately. I'm getting married again and I need you out so that my new wife can move in.
Yeah, here it is. This is a real problem, right? So who's lying now? I don't know what reality you think you're living in. But that's just not happening. Just tell your imaginary girlfriend to pick a different day to move in.
Imaginary? Have you really not figured it out yet?
Figured out what?
I want a divorce because I'm in love with someone else. She just told me she's pregnant this morning and I want to do the right thing, to put it frankly. You are in the way of our happiness. So like I said, I need you out immediately.
Well, thank you for telling me now. I understand the situation.
What? Just like that? You don't have anything else to say?
Well, just that today is simply not possible. You're gonna have to wait until I find somewhere else to move. I'll move as soon as I can. But it could be a few weeks.
No, absolutely not. You'll be out of my house and out of my life today. Today. Don't you get it? You should consider it punishment for being so arrogant and condescending all the time. This is the last time I'll say it. You need to be out of my house now.
So that we're clear and everything is on the table. You do understand the position that you're in, right?
What is that supposed to mean? The only thing that needs to be understood is that I am still your husband. You'll do as I say.
Ethan, it doesn't really work like that. I'm not sure what your plan was, but you just exposed your own infidelity to your wife. You called me arrogant, but I think you need to do a little self-reflection and punishment. Let's talk about punishment. Let's talk about what's to happen to you now that you've decided to impregnate some random woman and kick your faithful wife out.
Excuse me? What exactly is that supposed to mean? Do you think that you somehow have the right to talk back to me like that? There is no evidence whatsoever that I had an affair. But there was plenty that you have been a terrible wife.
No, that's not true at all. I have plenty of evidence of your affair.
What? No, that's not possible. You're just bluffing.
Listen, Ethan. You literally just confessed to your affair in your texts. I just need to take this to a judge. So they'll be able to decide for themselves which of us is a lousy person.
You're so full of it. Texts and messages don't prove anything. There's something else that you think gives you the confidence. You're acting too smug. What is going on? You already knew, right? How long have you known that I've been seeing Lisa?
Are you really that silly? I know about her because you just told me. Thank you for volunteering her name, by the way. I'm glad I didn't even have to ask for it. That makes things easier.
Wait a second. No, that's not her name. It's just a nickname I give to her.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I've known for the past 2 years that you were seeing someone. It started about the time I started working from home, am I right?
What? How did you know that?
There's no point in getting defensive or embarrassed now. Now that it's all out there. All that matters is what happens next. I'll go straight to the point. You don't want to spend months of your life in court, right? So then we'll need to come to an agreement about alimony.
Alimony? But why you just went on and on about how you make enough to live on your own?
I do make enough, but I'm not the one that uprooted both their lives because I couldn't keep it in my pants. I'm willing to agree to a lump sum of $45,000 from you.
What? Are you being serious? 45,000? Are you insane?
I had a feeling that's what you would say. So I guess I'll see you in court. No, it's not happening. You will be gone by the end of the day if I have to throw your stuff out of my house. Since it's your fault that I have to move in the first place, it's only fair that you agree to this. I'm not going to live on the streets just because you couldn't keep it in your pants. I have no problem with the divorce, but finding a new apartment takes time. You can afford to agree to few weeks. It's not like the baby will be born tomorrow. In case you can't swallow your pride and agree to give me time to find a new place to live, I will make your life miserable. You think $45,000 is a lot? Let me know by 5 p.m. how you decide.
Why by 5 p.m.?
Because that's when the banks close. Remember the 45,000 we just talked about?
You want that today?
Of course. You want all this done as quickly as possible, right? That's why you're trying to kick me out by the end of the day. Oh, actually, I guess you could always wire the money to me rather than taking it out in cash. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Once that's paid, we'll need to talk about division of property and assets.
What? You even want more?
I want what's fair, and I'm perfectly content to either negotiate with you directly or handle it through the courts. So how do you want to play this? It's your call. And your girlfriend works at the same company as you, right? Since she's pregnant, the sooner we make a clean break from each other the better. Don't you think people are gonna start wondering about your relationship soon?
All right. That's fine. Let's just settle this. How much do you think is fair?
Well, I'll take my car and you can keep yours, but I'm also entitled to half the house as well as what we've got in the bank.
What? You're gonna ruin me.
You've ruined yourself. You can buy out my half of the house for $300,000. Plus, $50,000 from savings and $45,000 in alimony. In total, $395,000. Not too bad, if I do say so. Didn't you hear that I have a child on the way? Well, let's make it an even $400,000 if you want to be difficult. Or we can go to court. I bet I get even more if we take it to court. You'll end up with my attorney fees as well.
Fine. I'll wire it to you, but then we're done with that money. There has to be some way that you can be out of the house by tonight.
All right, you're smart. I'll call some friends to see if I can stay somewhere while I find a new apartment. It shouldn't be a problem. I'll take the rest of the afternoon off from work so I can start packing. I'll have all my things packed and out of the house before dinner.
Wow, you really do that fast.
Are you surprised? I've known this day is coming for the past 2 years. And I prepared for it. I couldn't predict exactly when it would happen, but I had no doubt that it would happen eventually. Obviously, I didn't know she would be pregnant, but still, now that it's finally here. This will all be over soon. Unless you have anything else to talk about, I'll see you later this evening. What's that? Hey, Ethan. Stop ignoring me.
What? Why are you talking with me like that?
It really took you so long. You need to reply faster.
Okay, what do you want?
Are you ready to send me the last $45,000? You owe me that amount.
What? I don't owe you anything.
What are you talking about? You still owe me $45,000 in our agreement last month. You bought out my half of the house and gave me half of the savings, but you still owe $45,000. I mean $45,000 for the alimony. I haven't received it yet.
I did send you the money. I wired you all the money that you demanded. That should be enough to call it even. That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
I'm sorry. We agreed on $395,000 and I've only received $350,000. You still owe me $45,000.
What do you mean? You only received $350K? That is a lot of money. I don't think you're so greedy.
I agree it is a lot of money, but it's not the amount that we agreed on. Let me guess. You blew through the money so you could claim you don't have it. Actually, it doesn't matter. I don't have any evidence what happened. Frankly, I didn't care. The only thing that matters to me is that you pay it. If you like, I can contact your girlfriend and ask her to help you.
No, stop it. You have no business talking to her. This is between you and me.
You're getting awfully defensive about me talking to her. Is there something that you don't want me to say to her? If you don't want me talking to her and you refuse to pay the rest, I guess it's time to take the situation to attorneys.
Just be reasonable. We can settle this ourselves.
I don't think we can, and I'm tired of arguing with you about it.
Okay, fine. I will wire you now. Just step out of my life. Make sure you never contact me again.
Well, that's easy to threaten Ethan with the attorney. Now I get all the money I need. I have prepared for this situation, so I have no surprise about his girlfriend. At least, he's quite generous and give all the money due to out agreement. We haven't eaten and slept together for a long time. It's been nearly a divorce. But now I'm happy that I get out of that boring marriage. I'm rich and free now. It's so wonderful.
God. It's been such a crazy day. I just finished talking about the inheritance and completely exhausted. You know what? I think I'll stay at my parents' place today. I just don't have the energy. I want to stay here a bit and help Mom clear away some of Dad's stuff before coming back home. I'm sure you'll understand, right? It might take a while though. Dad left behind so much stuff I probably won't be back until tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I'm sure you're totally exhausted. No worries. How did everything go?
How did what?
You're talking about the inheritance. Yeah, the inheritance. What's the verdict? How much did your dad leave you? Surely, you'll be getting left quite a bit, right?
He left behind an apartment and a house. They're both quite old and we can do some renovation. But I have been told that in total, together they're worth around $400,000. It is quite good, right?
Wow, $400K bucks. So what's the plan? What are you gonna do? You are gonna sell them, right?
No, I'm not going to do anything with them. As long as my mom is still around, I don't plan on touching any of it. I want to make sure that there's enough money if anything happens down the line. I don't want to do anything drastic now that I might regret later. Plus, both places are being rented out to people at the moment.
Wait, what? So basically what you're saying is you won't be getting any money?
Yeah. I mean, now is just not the right time to do anything with them. In fact, it's the opposite. Looks like we'll have to pay some tax on them. I'm not sure how it all works, so I speak with my mom and probably sort something out. No doubt. We'll leave that to the professionals.
What? Are you being serious? I'm expecting we can get some money at least. Do you remember I told you that we maybe go on a vacation? What you told really let me down.
What? What are you talking about? I don't get your attitude. Is that amount really important to you? How you could say something like that in after my dad passed away? Can't believe you can talk about money at this time?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. But I mean, it was like a month ago now. I thought that maybe you'd gotten over it by now.
Yeah, I am dealing with it a bit better now, but it's not something I can just forget and get over so quickly. These things take time, and he was my dad. It's not a stranger. But saying you were getting excited about my dad's inheritance is kind of hurtful.
Oh, come on, Viv. I said I'm sorry. It's just my first time dealing with inheritance and stuff like that.
Anyway, the inheritance is not coming in the form of cash anytime soon. So don't get your hope up. It may come under my name, but just think of it as my mom's, okay?
Fine, I understand that.
Thinking about it though, we might be okay to go on vacation. After Mom's finished clearing things up, she was talking about maybe going somewhere together.
Oh, really? That's great. Where were you thinking? We're definitely going abroad, right?
I'd like to leave it down to my mom. I want to make sure that it's somewhere she would feel comfortable going. So I'll wait instead of just choosing somewhere without speaking to her first.
If we were going abroad, I was thinking of learning the local language beforehand. What do you think about me bringing my parents too? It's not often an opportunity like this comes about. So why don't we all go and enjoy a vacation together as a family?
It's nice and all, but seeing as it will be my mom paying for it all, I think we can only afford to bring you along. I don't really want to make my mom pay for everything.
Come on, Vivian, I'm sure you can do something to convince her. We'll make sure you guys have a great time. If anything, it'll make you feel better.
My mom has been through a lot recently. I really don't want to cause a fuss.
It's about time I started doing something for my parents, and this vacation will be just the thing. I know they'd really appreciate it if I took them on vacation somewhere.
If that's the case, then shouldn't you be paying for them? If you want your parents to be truly grateful, surely it means more coming from you.
You know I don't have any money. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking you.
It's not something so pushy about. If you want to do something for your parents, I guess I can try save some money to help out. You can send your parents to an all-inclusive resort or something as a present from us. I think they would be much happier if we paid to take them somewhere. We're both working, so I'm sure we'd save the money up in no time anyway. I think your parents wouldn't be happy about making my mom pay for everything.
My parents don't really care about whose money it is.
Honestly, I don't think it's right to ask my mom to pay for everyone to go on vacation. I think at the very least, we should pay for your parents to come along. Not my mom.
Thinking about it, if you inherited about $400K, then surely your mom got even more, right? So your mom will definitely be fine with taking everyone on vacation. I'm sure of that.
That's not really for you to decide though.
Anyway, just ask her and see what she says. Fine.
Fine, but don't have any expectations. Also, don't tell anybody about the inheritance, okay?
Vivian, you know that I'm not that type of person.
You start attracting attention from the wrong sort of people when you talk about money. Owen, where are you now? We need to talk.
I'm here, Viv.
I want to ask you something. I just got a phone call from your parents. They asked me about my inheritance from my dad.
What? Why would they call you about the inheritance?
Why did you tell them about the inheritance? I thought I asked you not to say anything. Don't you forget that you promised me you wouldn't say anything to anyone?
Well, they're my parents though. I thought it'd be okay. I mean, sharing everything with family wouldn't be a problem.
I don't really want you talking about the money. I'm pretty sure I told you not to think of the inheritance as mine. It's my mom's.
But I mean, in reality, you are the one who inherited it.
Even if that's the case, I told you I had no plans to do anything with it right now. Did you tell that part to your parents? They asked me whether they could live in either the apartment or the house.
I guess it's because my parents' house is pretty old at this point. If you were willing to rent out one of the places to my parents, I know that they'd be pretty happy.
I already told you, didn't I? The places that my dad left me are already being rented out to people. I told you that there are already people living in those places, so I can't sell or rent them out to anyone else.
Well, you became the landlord, right? So that means you can kick them out whenever you want.
Are you being serious? They have a contract. I can't just go kicking people out whenever I want to. These people are paying their rent. I can't just ask them to pack up and leave.
They're just strangers to you, right? You shouldn't have to worry about people you don't know. It's not like they've ever done anything for you.
Not done anything for me? Those strangers are providing us with income? How can you say things like that? And what's up with your parents lately? After telling them I can't rent any of the places to them, then they ask me if I could help them out with money.
My parents have been telling me that they want to move out as soon as possible. You sure there isn't anything you can do for them?
I can't do anything for them. I don't have that sort of money to be lending or helping.
Of course you do. You just inherited $400,000 and you could just sell one of the two places.
Are you even paying attention to anything I'm telling you? How many times do I have to repeat myself?
It's just that my parents need a little help. I would have thought that you'd be willing to lend them a hand, having come into a bit of cash and all. I'm sure you can spare a bit.
I get that, I really do now. The fact that you talking to them about my inheritance and all this money I have is wrong. I can't sell the properties. There won't be any money here. On top of that, I can't rent any of the properties out to them and I don't have any money to lend. Don't make me say it again.
Like I said, just sell one or both of the properties. I don't see what the big deal. If you do that, then not only will we have some money for ourselves, but we'd be able to help my parents out. Am I wrong?
Why are you even trying to use the inheritance my dad left to me? Your parents have their own house. Surely, there is something they can do. These properties my dad left aren't even new.
But they're still newer than the one my parents live in. If you can't rent the properties out to them, at least help them with some money. I'm sure that you're able to do that for them.
Forget it. I've had enough of talking about this.
Come on. Don't be like that. We're just talking.
I have enough of you and your parents. You guys are trying to get what you want and do whatever you like.
Yeah, how's that?
If I hadn't gotten any inheritance, we wouldn't have had any of these conversations in the first place, right? If they were really in need of some financial aid, I'm sure they would have said something a long time ago.
But things are different if you compare back then to now. Now we are sitting on such a big amount.
We don't have, nor can we use that money. Can you not get that through that thick skull of yours?
Stop being so cheap. Even your mom said she would take my parents on vacation. There's no point in talking it out with you. If you want to help out, then I'll go and ask your mom straight.
Are you being serious right now? You really think you're gonna go and ask my mom?
What other choice do I have? I never thought that you'd be so greedy and keep all the money to yourself. I just want to try and do something good for my parents after all that they've done for me. But you are trying to hog all the money. If it's gonna be like this, I gotta think, what's the point in being married?
What are you even talking about?
Forget it. I won't be expecting anything from you.
Hey Owen. You better stop going to my mom's and pestering her. On top of that, stop calling her.
Sorry about that, Vivian. My parents are so desperate to move out.
It's one thing to demand money from me, but trying to get money from my mom is going way too far. She's having a much harder time than I am with the fact that my dad is no longer there. Don't you get it? How can you and your parents keep doing something like this to her?
When you think about it, your dad who can't be here with us anymore, it probably would have wanted you to spend that money on my parents. In fact, I'm sure he'd be happy to. The best way to spend that money would be to help people out.
That is for the person who has the money to decide, not for you to decide for them. The only way I see this is you and your parents are just pestering us for money.
Pestering for money? You got some nerve coming out with something like that.
I've got some nerve? It's me who should be saying that to you. I'm constantly getting calls from your parents while I'm at work. Only to then have them come over during the week just so they can pester us into helping them with money. All I get day in and day out is you guys talking about the inheritance. Even with all that, you've all recently decided to go and pester my mom. I've just had enough.
I think you're over-exaggerating a bit.
I don't think I can deal with this or you anymore. I've been thinking about it a lot recently.
What? You mean you want to split up? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Do you know what your parents are saying to me? They started shouting abuse at me, calling me all sorts of things like a money-grabbing rat. And you are agreeing to everything they do and say.
That's because it's the truth.
You going so far as to harass us because I said we couldn't give you any money. I know it was you who called my work and getting me to come to the phone only to hang up as soon as I get there. Even stooping so low is to the point you're throwing dog at my car. I bet that was your appearance, wasn't it? I hate to it, but I don't want to have anything to do with those kinds of people. I want a divorce.
A divorce? To be honest, that doesn't sound like such a bad idea. It's not like I want to get involved with a dirty money-grabbing woman like you anyways. Maybe I'll find myself someone much younger. Someone who will take care of my parents and be willing to help them out.
Well, you're ready to get on with this divorce then?
Yeah, sounds good to me. In returns, you will have to split the properties with me anyway. I can get away from this greedy money-grabbing psycho woman. Just in case you don't know, I'm not missing out on even 1 cent.
Yeah, I'll start getting everything ready for the divorce. Just make sure there's no messing about. I'll be sure to speak to some lawyers to make sure everything gets done properly.
You're quick to lawyer up.
I'm saying it one last time. Stay away from my mom and don't ever call her or try to in contact with her again. Understand? If anything happens from here on out, I'll report everything as harassment to the police.
Don't worry about that. I just want to hurry up and get this divorce over with. I think you need to move it and start getting things ready. Viv, we need to talk.
What?
About the meeting before the divorce.
Yeah, so what? You don't want to come?
No, I mean, my parents will be sitting in on it.
Right, whatever.
By the way, I heard the house you inherited burnt down. I guess this is what you get for being so greedy with your money. I guess somebody out there is taking notes of your wrongdoings. Maybe you will have learned your lesson from this and it'll teach you how to treat others with respect in the future.
This is very rich coming from your mouth. You do realize that everything was caught on CCTV, right?
What are you talking about? What was caught on where?
CCTV, closed-circuit television, you know that? You and your parents are all caught in the video setting fire to the house. It's so clear.
Wait, what?
Looks like you guys are finished. Here you are running your mouth like you've done nothing wrong.
Are you being serious right now? I am sure there were no cameras around.
Wow, did you really just admit that? The guy who rents it out from us told us as soon as everything happened. Not only did you set fire to the place, but before all that you even harassed tenant who lives there. Because of that, the cameras were installed just in case anything happened. You're just rotten to the core. I would have never believed you'd be capable of something like this. Did it ever go through your mind what you would have done had the person who lived there died?
That's why we tried to make sure we did it when there was no one at home.
How would you even know that? Someone could have easily entered that house or come home without you guys ever even noticing.
So you mean you'd report this case to the police, right?
The fact that you knew the house went up in flames surely means you know the police and the fire department were also there. To answer your question, of course, I handed all the videos to the police.
You really did that? You know we only did it as like a sort of a small prank. We didn't mean to cause any harm or anything.
What? How is that a prank?
But we didn't mean it. That should count for something. Are you trying to say that we're gonna get locked up?
Isn't it obvious at this point? Don't you realize the weight of the crime that you committed? It's a criminal offense and straight jail time.
Come on, what we did wasn't that serious. We were just trying to get you shaken up a little bit. Like, get back at you and nothing serious. That house you were given is close to the station. It was also in a prime location. So, we thought that if we could get the tenant renting from you to move out, then I thought that maybe you might consider lending it to us.
I will never rent that place out to you. Wouldn't make any sense to since you'll be going to jail soon.
What should I do? What do you want me to do? Just say it. I'm sorry for what I did. Really, I'm sorry, Viv.
You guys have crossed a line. You shouldn't have, and now there is no going back. All of you, a family of criminals.
Wait, what?
I couldn't help you anything. Also, I don't want to hear anything from you either. If you do, you can talk the policeman. So now, bye. You should look forward to the subpoena.
No, Vivian. No.
After that, Owen's whole family were caught. They stood in court and faced criminal charges sentencing them to prison. The one who faced the harshest charges was the mother-in-law who had planned it all. Until now, I just don't believe why they even dared to set fire to my house. This family's greediness is truly bottomless.